Good morning and welcome back to the channel, and it is the final day of York today on the Friday the 13th. Unlucky for some, but hopefully lucky for one of you, because I'm running again the £25 giveaway challenge. So if you can pick the winner of the 150, the 225 and the 3 o'clock at York, then £25 cash will be coming your way. I've been running it for the last couple of days and we've had a few people come close, but no one's managed to get over the line yet. So today could be one of the easier days. We've got some short priced favourites in the first couple of races, so if you think you can do it, don't be afraid to get involved. £25 up for grabs, and as we're closing in on 250 subscribers, once we get there we're going to have a much bigger cash giveaway to celebrate 250,000. So make sure, if you're new here, do subscribe, because well, you've got to be subscribed to play this competition as well. So we're going to talk through the first couple of races, hopefully give you a few hints to picking up some winners along the way. And we're going to start off with the first race. Now this is a very tricky race by the look of it. Miami Girl heads the market at 11-4, but this race is full of unexposed fillies, all 2-year-olds, and they're pretty much all have won or are open to a lot of improvement. Miami Girl won by 5.5 lengths on her debut at Newmarket. That was very striking, and she wasn't the most professional but still managed to win comprehensively, so that was a very good performance. That probably sets the standard, but I think there's a few in behind open to a little bit more improvement, no less than Pillow Talk, who I actually tipped up a couple of weeks ago when it ran at 25-1, and it just came within half a length of winning. It was Drawn Stall won that day, which definitely didn't suit at Nottingham. Everything developed on the stand side away from this 2-year-old filly, but she managed to stay on pretty well and managed to finish just second in the end, and I think she's open to a lot more improvement. And Carl Burke's 2-year-olds are running very well at the minute. They had a couple of winners at York already, so they're well worth keeping an eye on. And Carl Burke also has the third favourite, Yarsat, who's had just the 2 runs, just touched off on debut, and like so many of the trainers, took a significant step forward from first to second run. It beat a horse, Ramazan, by 7 lengths. That has won since pretty well at Beverley, and also JM Jungle, who finished third but well beaten, has also won well since. So the form of that race has worked out very well, so she could be open to quite a bit of improvement. Drawn Stall 11, I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative. I think you might want to be a little bit lower, so that could be a little bit off-putting. But this 150, if you can find the winner of this, you'll do pretty well. It's also worth noting Primrose Ridge is the ride of Frankie Dettori. That had 2 runs, started off in the Bucklesby, went a very good second to Persian Force. It had good form when just touched off by Star of Lady M, who has turned out to be a pretty decent filly as well, and then she blew them away at Beverley. It might not have been the strongest race, but I was there that day and she definitely left a lasting impression. So with Frankie Dettori booked, she could be one open to quite a little bit of improvement. So well worth keeping an eye on this race. I think there's some very exciting types, and I think the winner of this race might be one to watch going forward into Royal Ascot, because I think the form of this race will be working out pretty strongly. Moving on to the 225, and Frankie Dettori has another very good chance on board Grand Dam, who won pretty impressively at Ascot on a Royal Ascot Trials Day there. It was a pretty good form, I think. There was only 6 runners in the race, but Mukaddama, who finished second, that won pretty impressively on its debut at Wolverhampton. So Ryan Moore was riding that day. He just kept her under hand and heels for quite a long way, and I think she's open to quite a lot of improvement. Stays at the mile. I think she hits this pretty strongly. She doesn't have the most experience in the world, but I think she's open to a lot of improvement. As I said, William Haggis and Tom Marquand team up on the second favourite, Perfect News. I've already had a pretty good York, starting off with the first winner in Narcy. That was a pretty good horse, and I think Perfect News might not be open to the most improvement, but is rated 100 at the end of the day. So this horse definitely does set the standard. It might not be the best standard in the world, but I think she's a decent horse on her day and should definitely be running into the frame of ones at bigger prices. I think Allion might just be suited by the step back down in trip. She was comprehensively beaten by With the Moonlight at Newmarket, but back to a mile today. I think that might suit a little bit better, and with James Doyle in the saddle. She won't be lacking from the jockey on board. That's 20 to 1. I'd give that a little squeak, but for me, wouldn't be a bet for me. Now, the last one to hopefully win one of you £25 comes in the 3 o'clock, and Rogue Bear is pretty short for me at 2 to 1. This horse definitely does have the best form in the race and has been very progressive. I just think the style of this horse is usually held up and it just finishes fast, and it might just be one that is a little bit unlucky just because of the way this horse races. It was third in the Lincoln, then was a very good third at Newbury, but you just get the feeling this horse might run well without going on to win. This horse needs everything to fall correctly for this horse to win, and I think with Jack Mitchell in the saddle, he takes the ride after David Egan's ridden the last few. That might be a positive jockey booking just because Jack Mitchell rides so many winners for Tom Clover. So this definitely is the weakest horse he's run in his last 2 starts as well, so he could be winning today. Up 2 furlongs in trip as well. I think that could suit for a horse who has been hitting the line pretty strongly over a mile. Of the rest, there isn't too many which catch the eye, but it is worth noting Tim Easterby does so well with his runners at York. He always targets this meeting, and also Mark Johnston, he's got a few in the race, so they're always worth keeping an eye on, especially when teaming up with Franny Norton. But for me, it's a tricky race. Rogue Bear probably will be running well, but wouldn't be winning it in my eyes. But I might just be saying that to stop you picking the favourite in the £25 challenge. So that concludes this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as I said, comment the 3 winners of the 150, 225 and 3 o'clock, and £25 might be coming your way.